Hey everyone, OT Lifehacker here. How to manage eczema throughout the day is what I'll be talking about in this video. So if you're interested, please watch. And also share your ideas, because sharing your ideas, we can all learn from each other. And that's one of the awesome things about being able to share ideas on YouTube, because you have the comment section. So please do share what your thoughts are on what works for you and what doesn't work for you for managing eczema. And in this video, like I said, it'll be throughout the day. And so for eczema, personally, what I've experienced and what I've heard others experience is that it can almost be really difficult to go out in social settings and such with others if you have a really bad flare-up, because it can be very itchy. It'd be hard to focus on others around you or whatever activity you're doing, because you'll be so focused on the itchiness, or even that it'll look bad because the eczema always looks very inflamed, and not always, but when it does look bad, people notice and they'll comment on it. And also, wearing clothes out can be very difficult because you might get itchy. You might start sweating on your clothes and get even more itchy. So I'll just share with you how I deal with it. I mean, how I try to overcome it. And so let's get into starting off the day, choosing what I wear. Well, actually, I take that back. Starting off the day starts off with moisturizing. So I wake up in the morning and moisturize. So I put on all my lotions. I put on my Aquaphor, CeraVe, or my Vaseline, and I'll include that in the links below so that you can see what those products look like. And you can also look at my previous videos, because I've shown what the product looks like in the other videos. So if you want to look at more eczema management videos, please check those other videos out. And so I usually, well, I'll show you what I wear. Okay. So right now it is winter time and it is cold, so I cannot go out without covering up. So I wear clothes that are, if you notice, they're more on the baggy side. They're on the baggier, bigger side. And that's to, not only to allow me room to eat more, but it's to allow me so that I have more breathability in my clothes. And having layers helps and doesn't help, because layers, you might sweat in them and it's less breathable because you have layers on top of layers. But the wonderful thing is that if you do start feeling heated inside, then you can take off layers and then just cool off for a little bit and then put the layer back on. These pants are also, they're still stylish, right? They're pretty baggy, and what I like most about them is that, for me personally, I have a lot of eczema always on my ankles. Can you see it? So I always have the eczema along my ankles and you can see that here. Let me help closer. So along here, and then on this side as well, it would be along here and along here. And so it gets so itchy, especially with socks and with the pants, because I wear long pants, right, when it's cold. And so I would need to wear something that does not cover this area. And these pants are perfect because they don't. they cut off here. If I do have pants that covers that area or is close to that area and will start irritating the skin, you know, rubbing against it and making it itchy around it, then I will need to fold the pants like so. So I would just fold the pants up and then fold it to whatever level I need to allow it to not get covered here. And then, you know, it actually can look pretty stylish too. I've gotten compliments on my style once or twice, you know, for folding the pants. Funny thing is, I learned that from my dad. Not saying he's not stylish, but I guess he is. So, so in that case, I want to expose it, right? But you know, you can't always expose it. Like if it's on your stomach or if it's on your, I don't know, up here or in areas that are harder to expose, then again, baggy clothes and breathable clothes, so different types of material might work better for you. And I also have clothes that are more, some that are kind of like knitted type that has openings in between so that it is more breathable. And the other thing, so I mentioned that it's hard. It used to be hard at times to go out in public, and then people would be questioning you, why do you have all those spots on you? What happened? I mean, first off, that may be something that they don't need to ask, but people may be curious. And so rather, I used to think that, oh no, someone sees it, but it's inevitable, and it's also human nature for us to experience such things. And rather than thinking, oh, they see it, they're probably judging me, that's, I mean, unlikely. Sure, maybe, but rather than thinking that way, it could be of a sign that they're caring for you, that they're just curious what happened. And so you, of course, have the choice to answer or to not answer. And the main thing is how you feel about that response. Because oftentimes if you think they're judging you or think something of negativity toward yourself, then that'll cause even more stress for you and potential more triggers that will worsen the eczema. And so honestly, when someone asks me, I just let it be, because of course I may have gotten used to it, but it's also a coping mechanism that if someone does ask, I shift my thinking to be, they're just concerned, and I can choose whether or not to answer. And most of the time, if not all the time, I do answer, because I'm just like, it's part of my life. And putting a positive spin on things helps a lot. So a lot of just like shifting your own thinking and giving yourself coping skills so that you can deal with this is a huge plus, because your own mental health around this can create resiliency, in the sense that if you have more of a positive strong coping mechanisms that works in your favor for dealing with this, great. And what I find works for me is keeping positivity and just gratitude that, you know, yes, these can be problems. Fortunately, it's not worse than this. And that I'm just grateful for everything that I do have, including simply being alive and enjoying life and having the opportunity to figure out other ways to deal with challenges. And so I also moisturize a lot. So I will always, like I said before, moisturize in the morning, wake up, moisturize, you know, but then I also moisturize throughout the day. and I make sure to prevent myself from sweating throughout the day. And I wear gloves. So if I'm doing, and I mentioned this in my other video, that if I'm doing cleaning or if I'm doing dishes or anything, studying, I'll be wearing some type of gloves. And if you want to know like more about the gloves technique, please watch the other video, or feel free to watch the other video that I have on that. But yeah, the key takeaways are the mentality that you have for me, key takeaways are the mentality you have towards your experience with eczema. Having a more positive mentality can be beneficial because it can help you to cope with it and be less stressed. So stress management is another one. And I'll have videos to come on stress management. And then getting sleep is really important because that is also part of like your coping. You cannot likely cope as well as if you had adequate quality sleep. And eczema can be really hard to produce that or allow that. So try to find ways to help yourself sleep with eczema. There's also another video on eczema and managing eczema at night so that you can sleep, that I have a video on, so feel free to check that out as well. And then wearing breathable, light clothes to try to prevent sweating, reduce sweating. And also managing the temperature wherever you're in the environment. If you start getting sweaty, know that you might have to adjust yourself, your activity level. Maybe you're too active at that moment, so stop doing all the activity. Or just change your clothes or take a break and then go back to the activity. And then I think that covers most. I think that covers it. I said, yeah, breathable baggy clothes. Yeah. Okay, I think we're good. I will talk to you all later. Bye bye. Oh, and make sure to share your own comments, because having insight from others, including just like having insight from how I do it, may not always work for everyone. So having a bountiful amount of ideas out there can be helpful to people so that they can choose what works for them and what doesn't. So share with us what has worked for you, what hasn't worked for you in managing your eczema, especially for doing your activities, how it affects you being able to do your day-to-day activities, even like getting dressed, getting out of bed, hanging out with friends, going to school, all of that, or going to work. And be sure to like this if you do like it, subscribe, and share with others. Alright, I mean share the video with others. Just to clarify, just share around. Okay, bye.